I lost my mom when I was just 12. My stepmother mistreated me for years. But on my wedding day, she apologized, and I thought things would finally get better. But 1 month after she came to care for my baby, something terrifying happened. Before we dive into this emotional journey, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. My name is Sandra. I lost my mom when I was just 12. I still remember the day like it was yesterday. 1 minute she was holding my hand, brushing my hair, humming to me as I cried over a scraped knee. The next she was gone. No more warm hugs. No more safety. A year after my mom passed, my dad got remarried. He said it was for stability, for companionship. I didn't blame him. He was lonely and broken too. But I wasn't ready. And nothing could have prepared me for the new life I was about to live. My stepmom moved in with her 2 children, a boy aged 14 and a girl aged 16. I was the youngest in the house, and the only one with no one truly in my corner. At first, it wasn't horrible. I wasn't beaten or locked in a room. But slowly, the difference started to show. Her kids always got the best of everything: bigger meat, newer clothes, better birthday presents. I tried not to let it bother me. Maybe it's just because I'm the youngest, I'd tell myself. Maybe it's normal. But as the months went by, I realized it wasn't just favoritism. It was quiet discrimination, subtle things that chipped away at me daily. I was the one who cleaned, cooked, served dinner. They sat. They watched TV. I worked. No one even said thank you. Still, I held on. I focused on school. That was my escape. And I was good at it. Really good. Top of my class. Always eager to learn. Always pushing myself harder. I dreamed of becoming a doctor someday. Funny thing is, that's when my stepmom really started to notice me. Not in a good way. She'd say things like, "You think you're smarter than my girls?" Or, "Maybe if you spent less time with your books and more time sweeping, the house would be cleaner." She'd compare my grades to her daughters, loudly, even if I came first. Once, I was revising for an important exam, and she came into my room, pulled the books off my bed, and said, "House chores don't do themselves. This is not a hotel." I said nothing. I just got up and did what she asked, because deep down, I still wanted her to like me. I still wanted to belong. Years passed. I finished secondary school with honors. Everyone in my community said I was going to be the first doctor from our street. But then my dad retired, and everything changed. One evening, he called me into the living room. My stepmom was sitting beside him, arms folded. I knew something was wrong from the moment I saw her face. He cleared his throat and said, "We can't afford your education anymore. We're going through financial difficulties." Just like that. No warning. No discussion. No options. I begged. I cried. I even offered to work part-time and pay part of the fees myself. But they had already decided. I dropped out of university at 22. Just like that, my dreams were ripped away. I stayed home, and guess what? I began helping my stepmom run her small restaurant business. I washed, cleaned, served customers. All day. Every day. It was humiliating, but I told myself, maybe one day I'll get another chance. Then came the light. I met my husband during that time. A kind, respectful man who visited the restaurant as a customer. He noticed me, not just my face, but the sadness in my eyes. He'd always say, "You don't belong here. There's something greater in you." I didn't believe him at first, but he kept showing up, encouraging me, telling me I deserved more. Eventually, he asked for my hand in marriage. When he came to the house to officially declare his intentions, my stepmom laughed. She said, "You want to marry her? She's too young. Why don't you look at my older daughter instead? She's more mature." But he said no. He wanted me. Only me. Surprisingly, my dad gave his blessing. Maybe he was just relieved someone else would take me off their hands. On the morning of my wedding, my stepmom called me into a room. I thought she was going to insult me again, or warn me not to embarrass her. But instead, she cried. She apologized for everything. Said she was insecure, afraid I'd outshine her kids. Said she didn't mean to make me feel less. I cried too, because all I ever wanted was peace. I forgave her. Truly. We hugged. It felt like a new beginning. And for a while it was. She visited often, brought gifts, gave me marriage advice. When I got pregnant, she was one of the first to show up with fruits and herbal tea. She seemed so proud, rubbing my belly and calling me my daughter. When I gave birth to my son, she offered to stay with me for 6 months to help with feeding, cleaning, and night shifts. I was overwhelmed and grateful. Having a baby is exhausting, and her help made it easier. But then things started happening. At first, I brushed them off. One day, I walked into the kitchen and found her preparing my baby's bath water. But the steam from the bowl was rising like crazy. I touched the water. It was almost boiling. I panicked. "Mama, this water is too hot." She looked surprised and said, "Oh." I forgot to test it with my hand. I was just distracted. I didn't say much. I just held my baby close. Maybe it was just a mistake, right? Then 3 days ago,
She was holding my 4-week-old baby.
rocking him. I was in the next room folding laundry when I heard a loud thump followed by silence, then crying. I ran into the living room. She was standing there, frozen. My baby was on the floor. She kept repeating, "I'm sorry." I was very sleepy. I must have dozed off. My husband and I rushed our baby to the hospital. I can't explain the terror in my heart. My hands were shaking so badly, I couldn't hold my phone. The doctors gave him oxygen. They monitored him for hours, gave him medication to prevent seizures. Thankfully, he was okay. No fractures, no permanent damage, just some bruising. But I haven't slept properly since. I keep thinking about that bathwater. I keep replaying that fall in my mind. I keep wondering if this is just carelessness or something darker. She still walks around the house like everything is normal. She hums while cooking, watches TV, and offers to hold the baby again.
But now, I flinch.
I hesitate. My body tenses every time she picks him up. My husband thinks I should send her back to her house. He says, "Let's just thank her and tell her we want space." But I feel guilty. She apologized. She's trying, right? Or am I just holding on to the image of the woman I wanted her to be? The mother figure I always craved? I'm torn. I don't know what to do. Please help me. Do you think this is just a case of forgetfulness and tiredness? Or is there a chance she's trying to harm my child, intentionally or out of resentment? Did I make a mistake by not letting her stay the remaining 5 months like she planned? I don't know if her intentions were evil. I really don't. Maybe they were. Maybe they weren't. So the following day, we sat her down and told her gently that we appreciated her help but that for the baby's safety, it's best if she returns to her own home for now. We explained everything. The hot bath water, the fall, and how scared we were. At first, she looked like she might cry. Her eyes filled with tears, and she whispered, "I only wanted to help. I never meant to hurt the baby. I wanted to believe her. I really did." But then her mood changed. Her voice got cold and sharp. She said, "So now you don't trust me? After all I've done? Maybe you never wanted me here." She stood up and pointed a finger at me. "Maybe you're jealous because I was your father's wife before you came along. Maybe you never liked me." I tried to stay calm. I said, "No, that's not true. We just want what's best for the baby." But she wasn't listening. She started yelling, "You're ungrateful. I raised you in this house. I fed you, clothed you, and this is how you repay me? By accusing me of hurting my own grandson." Her eyes were wild. I've never seen her like that before. My husband told her firmly, "We're serious. This is not negotiable. You need to leave." That's when she broke down, but not in sadness. She screamed, "Fine. I'm done with this family.
You don't want me.
I'm leaving and don't expect me to come back." She packed some bags quickly and left the house, slamming the door behind her. The house feels so empty now. Cold. I'm relieved the baby is safe, but my heart hurts. I keep asking myself if I did the right thing. Was I too harsh? Or did I save my baby from danger? I'm scared this will break my dad's heart. I'm scared my stepmom might try to come back angry. I'm scared of what will come next. I never imagined I'd lose my mom and then feel like I'm losing my dad's family too. But most of all, I'm scared for my son. Honestly, I wasn't ready for what happened next. After my stepmom left in a rage, I thought maybe the worst was over. I thought I could finally breathe and focus on my baby's safety. But I was wrong. Within hours, my phone started ringing nonstop. Calls and messages from family members I hadn't spoken to in a long time, and some I barely know. Most of them were upset. Angry even. My dad called first. His voice was tired, but sharp. Why did you do this to your stepmother?
She's part of this family.
You can't just throw her out like that. I tried to explain calmly. Dad, she dropped my baby.
Twice.
The water was almost boiling. I'm scared. You have to understand. There was silence on the line. Then he said, she's your stepmother. You owe her respect. You're making a big mistake. I felt tears welling up. Dad, I love you. I respect her too, but I'm not going to let anyone hurt my child. He sighed and said, you're too emotional. You're overreacting. You need to fix this before it gets worse. I wanted to shout, to scream, but I stayed quiet because it was my dad.
And I still wanted him on my side.
The next calls came from my stepmom's children, her son and daughter. Her daughter called first. How could you do this to my mother? She only tried to help. You're making this family ugly. I tried to stay firm. Her help almost burned and dropped my baby. I can't risk his life. She didn't listen. You're cruel. You're selfish. You're breaking our family apart. Her son called after, even angrier. You're ungrateful. Mom raised you better than you think. I froze. Their words hit me like stones. I kept thinking back to how they ignored me growing up. How they got the best clothes, the best food, while I cooked and cleaned. I wanted to tell them all that, but I didn't. It felt like it would only make things worse. Then the family WhatsApp blew up. Messages from cousins, uncles, aunts, all telling me to stop causing trouble and respect your elders. One message said, you're ruining your dad's home. Shame on you. I read every message, but I couldn't reply. I just stared at the screen, heart pounding. That night, my husband came home and saw my face. What happened? Are you okay? I shook my head. Everyone's calling me,
Scolding me.
even Dad. He held me close. You did the right thing. Your baby comes first. Let them say what they want. But the pain was real. The weight of family expectations was crushing. I kept asking myself, am I really the bad one here? The next day, my dad came over. He looked older.
Worn.
We sat in the living room. I waited for him to yell or accuse me. Instead, he said quietly, I'm sorry I didn't protect you more when your mother died. My eyes filled with tears. He continued, I'm scared too. Scared of losing my family. But I want you to be safe. I felt hope for the first time in weeks. We talked about how to move forward. He promised to talk to my stepmom and try to calm things down. But he also said, right now, your son's safety is what matters most. It was a small victory. But the calls didn't stop. Some relatives still sent harsh words. I blocked a few numbers. I'm exhausted. But my baby smiles when he looks at me. And that's why I keep going. This family drama is the hardest thing I've ever faced. But I'm holding on for my son. That night, after my dad left, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. My baby was sleeping beside me, his little chest rising and falling, so peaceful. But my mind was spinning. The words from the phone calls kept replaying. You're ungrateful. You're overreacting. You've divided this family. It felt like 1,000 knives in my back. I kept wondering, if my mom were still alive, would any of this have happened? Maybe I wouldn't have felt like an outsider in my own home growing up. Maybe I wouldn't have to second-guess every decision now. And yet, as I looked at my son, something in me shifted. I realized I couldn't live my life trying to be the good daughter at the expense of being a good mother. I chose my baby, I chose his safety. I chose peace. I didn't throw my stepmom out to punish her. I asked her to leave because I could no longer ignore the risk. My baby can't speak for himself, but I can.
And I did.
Even if the whole world thinks I'm wrong, I will stand by that choice. Now I'm at a crossroads. I'm torn between guilt and instincts. A part of me still hopes this was all just clumsy mistakes from someone who never fully learned how to love me right, but another part can't ignore the signs that my baby might truly be in danger. What would you do if you were in my shoes? Would you let her come back and help, or would you protect your peace and risk being the bad one in your family's eyes? Please, I really need your advice. And if you've been through anything similar, please share it with me in the comments. I'm listening. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more real-life stories, like this video if it touched your heart, and share it with someone who might be going through something similar. Your support means more than you know. Thank you for being here.